In the blessed name of Allah, who is most merciful and very gracious. Welcome. Look, if you are listening to this right now, I just want you to take a slow, deep breath. Really let your shoulders drop. Wherever you are, whatever time of night it happens to be, let your overthinking stop. You are in a safe place. Because tonight, we're going to go on a journey together. It's a true story about the hidden corners of the internet, about fear, secrets, and ultimately, about the human heart. So just listen to the sound of my voice and let this story play out like a movie in your mind. Imagine you're on a peaceful vacation. You know that feeling, right? You've been working so hard, day after day, and finally, you just have a moment to breathe. Well, a young woman named Lizzie experienced exactly this. She spent her days working at a nonprofit helping teenagers out. But over a long holiday weekend, she decided to travel to the beautiful mountains of North Carolina.
While she was riding in a car, feeling completely relaxed, they passed a brewery. And she wanted to share this little moment of joy with her brother, so she opened up Snapchat on her phone. But she couldn't get in. She was totally locked out. The app worked fine, but her specific digital home was sealed shut. Now, Lizzie didn't panic right away. She just figured it was a glitch, you know? But after an exhausting 8-hour drive back to her house, she opened her email and found 3 really chilling messages waiting for her. The first one said her account was logged into from an unfamiliar phone. The second said her password was changed. And the third, it said her phone number was changed.
And before her tired mind could even process what that meant, her actual phone buzzed with a text message from a complete stranger. The message was incredibly cruel. It literally said, "If you try to touch the account or do anything, you're ruined. I've got your nudes and your real-life details. Just don't do anything." Now, it's a super common fear, right? That when hackers break into an account, they instantly have access to your deepest secrets and private photos. But the truth is, this is so often a vicious lie designed just to paralyze you with fear. Because when Lizzie and a journalist named Alex investigated this whole thing, Snapchat actually confirmed that her saved photo folders were completely empty. The hacker had absolutely nothing. It was all a bluff, an illusion of power meant to cause terror. But even knowing that, the emotional damage was already done. The hacker had deleted all her friends from the app and sent her a message threatening to physically harm her, calling her all sorts of degrading names.
Think about how it feels when your physical home is broken into. Even if the thief doesn't take a single thing, the feeling of a stranger going through your personal drawers leaves you feeling deeply, deeply violated. A digital account is very much like a digital home. Lizzie was completely consumed by fear. A few days later, walking back from a yoga class just 2 blocks from her house in the early morning light, she felt this heavy, suffocating paranoia. She felt entirely exposed, watching every single shadow. She was actually so terrified of being alone that she asked her roommate to sleep in her bed. This right here is the very real human cost of a digital crime.
So to find out who was doing this, a journalist named Alex Goldman stepped into the shadows of the internet. The threatening texts had come from a strange email address ending in an.x. Alex ended up finding the website connected to it. It was covered in this fake, dripping computer graffiti. And the people running it, they were using these dark, mythic usernames like Hades, the ancient myth of death, and Satan. Now, you might hear that using evil or vulgar names on the internet is just a harmless joke, a way to look tough online. However, the words we choose to represent ourselves actually reflect the state of our hearts. Choosing names associated with absolute darkness really only isolates a person from the light, goodness, and peace of humanity. Anyway, Alex discovered a hidden piece of code on the site that revealed a crew of 3 names, Maxime, Evan, and Seb. He tracked them down to a digital chat room on a platform called Discord. Alex kind of hid in the crowd of this chat room and just watched them for days.
And what he saw was a truly tragic illusion. Maxime, the leader, acted like a king. He bragged about buying incredibly expensive Gucci clothes, wearing luxury Audemars Piguet watches, and driving sports cars and video games. He'd post pictures of massive piles of drugs, literally Xanax pills scooped up like ice cream. He made hateful, sad music that disrespected women. Society so often tells us that living a life chasing illegal money, designer clothes, and taking drugs makes someone powerful and happy. Yet this lifestyle really only brings deep sorrow, paranoia, and the destruction of the mind. And we know this for sure because in a recorded voice chat, Alex listened as Maxime's own best friends cruelly bullied him.
They mocked Maxime because a few years prior, he had been in such deep emotional pain that he faked his own suicide 12 different times just to get someone to care about him. Instead of helping him, his so-called friends just insulted him. There's no true loyalty among thieves. A life built on wronging others is just inherently miserable.
So why did they target Lizzie? Well, Lizzie had a very rare Snapchat username. Because she signed up years and years ago, her name was simply Lizard. No numbers, no weird symbols, just the word. In the hacker underworld, these are what they call OG handles.
There is an entire black market called OG users, where criminals buy and sell these simple names for truly shocking amounts of money. To put it in perspective, one name, Antichrist, sold for $4,000. Another one, just the word car, sold for a staggering $70,000.
Alex learned that top-level criminals use a terrifying method to steal these names, and it's called SIM swapping. Basically, they call your phone company, pretend to be you, and convince the worker to transfer your phone number to the hacker's phone. Instantly, your real phone loses service. Then, the hacker uses your number to bypass your security text messages and just take your accounts, and even your bank funds. In fact, one hacker, named Worthy, bragged to Alex that his gang made $8 million a year doing this.
Worthy claimed he was so careful that he destroyed the evidence of his crimes by putting computer chips into his kitchen microwave. He literally said he blew up 11 microwaves in a single month. Hackers love to claim you can safely destroy computer evidence by putting it in a microwave, kind of like you see in Hollywood movies. But in reality, doing this just causes violent electrical fires and toxic fumes that completely ruin your appliances. A smart person would just smash it with a hammer. Criminals often tell these childish, exaggerated lies to sound like movie villains, but their power to cause actual pain is very real. Hackers can even use stolen details to commit deed fraud, which is literally selling a person's physical house right out from under them. This realization absolutely terrified Alex. He actually hired a cybersecurity expert to see exactly how vulnerable he himself was. And in just 1 hour, the expert found Alex's old password, which was GoGo13, his secret social security number, his home address, and his family's private details. It was all just floating out there, completely exposed. To protect his family, Alex knew he had to build a digital fortress, and this is something we almost learned to do. There's a wise saying that reminds us, tie your camel first, then put your trust in the divine. We must have faith, absolutely, but we also gotta lock our doors. So Alex moved his phone number to a secure internet service. He started using a password manager, which is a brilliant tool that creates a totally different, impossible to guess password for every single website you use. And he stopped using text messages for security codes, switching instead to an authenticator app, which acts like a digital key that never travels through the phone network. But the mystery of who actually hurt Lizzie was still unsolved. Then, they got a massive stroke of luck. A famous internet celebrity was hacked, and thousands of fans flooded into the hacker's secret chat room. Amidst all the chaos, the hackers got super arrogant. One kid, hiding behind a fake name, was trying to impress a girl in the chat. And out of nowhere, he typed, "Lol, Lizard Eye pulled that." He confessed he stole Lizzie's account. Alex and Lizzie managed to get this kid on a voice call. He sounded incredibly young, like a high schooler from the West Coast. He admitted he was just a middleman who bought Lizzie's account for $100 and sold it for $1,500. He was too afraid to name the buyer who sent those terrifying threats, but he did bring the original hacker onto the call, a guy who went by the name Kevin.
Now, there's this big misconception that to be hacked, you must be the victim of incredibly advanced, impossible technology like SIM swapping. The truth is usually much simpler. Kevin wasn't a mastermind. He didn't use advanced tricks. He was literally just a guy who worked as a cashier at a grocery store, wearing cheap $14 shoes he bought on sale. Kevin explained that he just used a lazy, automated computer program to test the 500 most common passwords in the English language. Lizzie's password was weak, and she didn't have an extra lock on our door. It was just a simple lock, easily picked by a lazy machine.
During that first call, Kevin and the high schooler were super defensive. They gave these cold, empty, monotone apologies. They clearly didn't care at all. Alex ended the call in total frustration. But then, the next morning arrived. Alex woke up to a private message. It was Kevin, the grocery store clerk. He asked to speak to Lizzie again after his shift ended. And when they finally got on the phone, Kevin was a completely different person. His voice was soft, heavy with genuine regret. He apologized, like truly apologized. He admitted he was a complete jackass the night before. So what brought on this sudden change of heart?
Kevin explained that recently the terrifying world he participated in had actually turned on him. Rival hackers had found his real identity. They threatened his big sister, his little sister, and his mother. He was so paralyzed by fear that he forced his mother to move to an entirely new apartment just to feel safe. In that quiet moment, Kevin realized something profound. The agonizing, breathless terror he felt for his own family was the exact same terror he had caused Lizzie. Empathy is the ultimate cure for cruelty. When you truly feel the pain of another human being, you can no longer hurt them.
Kevin promised he was walking away from that life for good. And to prove it, he asked for Lizzie's digital wallet address, and he sent the original $100 he made from selling her account straight back to her. Lizzie accepted the money, but she knew it was born from theft and negativity, so she did something incredibly beautiful with it. She took that $100 and donated it to a real-world charity called Biteback. It's an organization that provides free computer training to poor adults so they can find honest, good-paying jobs. She literally took digital poison and she turned it into medicine. She proved that while bad people use technology to spread fear in the dark, good people can use it to build communities in the light.
As our story comes to a close tonight, there is one final detail from the original investigation. At the very end of the source material, there was a strange, fictional audio clip of people talking about wormholes, time machines, and the grandfather paradox. You know, the whole idea of traveling to the past. We often wish, just like in science fiction, that we could travel back in time to fix our mistakes or change what happened to us. But the universe is designed with perfect forward motion. Time strictly moves ahead. If a man goes back in time and accidentally stops his grandfather from meeting his grandmother, the man is never born. And if he's never born, he cannot build a time machine. It is a physical and logical impossibility.
And there is deep, deep peace in this truth. God, in his infinite wisdom, does not want us living in the past. We simply cannot rewrite yesterday. We cannot undo the moments we were hurt or the moments we made mistakes.
But just like Kevin, we can wake up the next morning, look at our actions, and choose to make it right. Like Lizzie, we can take the pain we were given and transform it into charity and kindness. You don't need a time machine. You only need this exact moment, right now.
So, as you drift off to sleep tonight, let go of yesterday. Lock your digital doors, absolutely, but leave your heart open to the truth. I want to leave you with this question to think about. What digital pain from your past can you transform into real-world kindness tomorrow? You are safe. Tomorrow is a blank page, just waiting for you to write something beautiful. Rest well, and peace be upon you.